Hello, all, and welcome to Vikram Loves Thailand. My name is Vikram Malik, and I clearly have an intense love affair with Thailand, and that's how I've derived the name of this channel, Vikram Loves Thailand. Now, in this particular video, I essentially want to highlight my, fierce desire, intense desire, vehement desire to actually, try and look at the possibility of settling down in Thailand, working there, earning a living, because all said and done, however much you might like or love a foreign country, you need a certain consistent source of good income. And that's where I have essentially made this video to highlight the fact that I, as an individual, I'm an Indian, I'm from India, but at the same time, having been there many times, I really like that country so much in so many different ways and for a myriad array of reasons. Because typically, what happens is people think, oh, it's that nudge, nudge, wink, wink, the girly scene which is attracting a guy towards that country. But I think it's beyond that. When you look at the overall infrastructure, the weather, the overall entire setup, the relaxed atmosphere, there's so many things which you actually like about that country. Having said that, what I mentioned earlier, that when it comes to settling down in a foreign country, of course, in your own country also, you need a consistent source of quality income. Without that, you can't possibly settle down anywhere, even in your own country, even in India, unless I have a regular job or at least a regular source of income. I cannot survive even here. Thankfully, because I belong here, my parents, my family, everyone is here, so there's always that additional sort of you can say a support system. Now that would definitely be missing in an alien country, and which is where the need for a consistent source of quality income comes up all the more. Now, typically, what I've seen is that there are a lot of Westerners, so to say, who actually settle down in Thailand. They have Thai wives, Thai girlfriends, or generally they're just having a good time, they're partying. They go in for this teaching line, and since especially English language teaching is in reasonably high demand, and the at least the Westerners from English speaking countries, be it the US, Canada, UK, Australia, they have that sort of a source of income for them. But what I have also seen is that it is not a source of great income. Of course, the definition of great income per se also varies. You can't define, and you cannot really specify as to what actually consists of great income. You might earn, say, 50,000 baht a month, and you might still consider that good income. You might earn double that, and still that may not be that may not qualify as great income. So the point that I'm making is that, for me, what I consider as great income is perhaps anywhere in the range of maybe 100 to 200,000 baht a month at least. And without that, see, what I have seen, having been there many times, while Thailand is a great place when your pocket is loaded, it is probably one of the worst places on earth if your pocket is empty. So because there are so many temptations and there are so many avenues to spend your money, and if you don't have that money, then you really feel terrible. Because like in India, you can actually manage with considerably lesser income, lesser money as well, and you can still probably lead a decent life. I'm not saying that you can lead a spectacular life, because here also there are a lot of people have this generalized sort of a thinking that India is a very poor country. It is a poor country, no doubt about it, but then there are a lot of the middle class is huge, and there are a lot of people who are making a lot of money here, a lot of money by any standards. Even if I compare with, say, the US, people earning $100,000 upwards in a year. There are a lot of people in India also, maybe simpler people. They've had their ancestral properties, or somehow they built their businesses over time, and they're making a lot of money. And having said that, that's where I'm kind of coming at, that maybe at least 100 to 200,000 baht a month is what I consider as decent income, good income to generally have a good life in Thailand. Now, it could be some good job, whatever it is. I'm otherwise, by qualification, I've done my bachelor's in psychology, bachelor's in business administration, as well as my master's in business administration come mass communication. So I'm on the qualification front, I'm quite pretty well qualified. over the years I've worked in business research, and I've worked in the PR industry, various aspects of the media industry, advertising, media planning, etc. And at the same time I've worked online, in a very big way. I've worked across so many different platforms. I've looked at content development, I've looked at affiliate marketing, online marketing, marketing through articles, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I've pretty much done the entire gamut. What I see is that the internet as a whole can definitely be a great way to earn, but then there are certain limitations there as well. First of all, it takes a considerable amount of time for things to happen. Like if you think that, oh, I'll make one video on YouTube which will be monetized and I'll make millions of dollars out of it, it doesn't happen. You may not even make a single dollar out of it. It takes a lot of effort, time, persistence, and by and large what I've seen is that the internet is a slow way of earning money, and it's fairly inconsistent. So that's where again one feels that might as well have a consistent source of quality income, even if I peg it at a certain level like 100 to 200,000 baht a month. See, some may consider that also high, but then again I will say that unless I have a good quality of life, unless I get to enjoy what I would like to enjoy in that country, what's the point? I might as well be here. So that being the case, I will emphasize that I'm keen on doing something like that. Now, looking at and thinking about, say, beyond just the job prospect, I'm quite open to the idea of, say, running a resort in Thailand, having, say, partnership with an existing entity or somebody who probably wants to sell out. And because I've seen a lot of these, maybe say middle-aged or elderly couples who might have set up a resort, and after some time, see, what happens is when you stick on in a place for a considerable amount of time, after that sometimes the charm kind of wears out, and that's when you probably want to go back home, and you're looking at a seller, at a suitable buyer who's willing to buy your property. So that kind of a prospect, I'm open to that. Any kind of partnership, say with, in case of say a certain specific kind of a bar or restaurant which is otherwise already doing well, and probably all it needs is a new partner or maybe fresh capital, something like that, in lieu of which there will be a consistent amount of money which will be given back to that investor. That's something like that also I don't mind. Maybe there's a hotel property which needs refurbishment, for which it needs capital, and that capital it is not able to source on its own. There are so many different avenues. Maybe even a massage parlor which needs investment, maybe a real estate, say, property which needs investment, something on those lines. Don't have this presumption that just because the guy is an Indian, he doesn't have money at all. If one sits down to think about it, plan accordingly, then money can be generated through different ways. I can always, maybe I can pull in money from different sources, I can take a loan, etc., but I can always invest a certain level amount of money with the assurance that yes, I will get a decent return out of it over a consistent period of time. That return would be actually consistent in itself. So the amount will be consistent and the duration also will be consistent, as long as that is in place. Plus, I have so many ideas. Like, look at Indian tourists in general. I mean, they're going to Thailand by the droves today. Today, India is among the top 10, top 5 sources of tourists going to Thailand. There are myriad factors. It's so close for us. It offers, at such a short distance, it offers pretty much everything what we might seek in, say, Europe or United States. Maybe even more than that. We can shop to our heart's content. We can have all the girly fun. We can have the beaches and the atmosphere, the ambience, and Thailand is not really a very expensive country. Most of the, say, the 5-star, 4-star properties in India are a lot more expensive than what we see in Thailand, and yet for that kind of money you actually get very good amenities in Thailand. So all of this together, say for example I visited Koh Samui, and Koh Samui, what I saw is that there are beautiful resorts all across, all around the beaches. And so something like that, maybe you want to sell out of that resort and you just want to go back home or whatever, do something else. Or maybe you have a series of condos which are empty, which need to be, kind of, one can buy them and then put them on rent and then have a consistent source of rental income coming in. There are myriad possibilities. So therefore, the idea behind this video is to try and create an awareness that yes, here's this guy who's willing to settle down in Thailand. He's not willing to compromise on, too low a level of income, which at the end of the day doesn't really serve the very purpose of being in Thailand. So therefore, if one is looking at least 100 to 200,000 baht a month, what can be the different avenues? I'm open to any, upper bracket definitely, but this, what I'm suggesting, is pretty much the minimum bracket, so to say. And in case you can always pass on the message, through YouTube. I'm looking at the prospect of maybe, spreading the word around. You can write to me. You can write to me on email. That is my email address, Vikram, VIKRAM @london.com, LONDON.com. You can also, if you want, you can get in touch with me on Skype. We can always have a phone conversation. And once we get in touch, I can always share my phone number as well. We can speak directly. So as far as avenues to communicate is concerned, there's really no end to it. So please feel free, get in touch with me. Like I mentioned, my name is Vikram Malik, and so feel free to get in touch with me. Maybe there's a good opportunity waiting there just to be tapped. We can create something new. Like in Bangkok, I feel there is a huge opportunity to create a very Indian centric entertainment destination. You look at if you've heard or been to this club called Bossy, that's on that small soi, off, I think, Ayutthaya Street or something on those lines. It's so popular among Indians. Almost, I would say, probably the majority by far of the patrons are actually Indians. So we can create something like that which is even more India centric. India has this whole Kama Sutra-esque kind of charm, and this tantric thing to it. So why not build something like that, where probably Indian food and maybe Indian razzmatazz, Indian jazz of certain kind, where an ambience is created, maybe Indo-Thai experience, so to say, something like that can be done. Maybe it will require considerable investment, but over time that will definitely prove to be a source of very good returns. Something like that. Maybe a departmental store, maybe just about anything. You can even have very small outlets. You can build like a chain of them. Like I've seen these simple guys across Pattaya, Bangkok, Koh Samui, where they're just setting up these small stalls, and they are selling like kebabs. They're selling pancakes. Pancakes seem to be particularly very hot. Now, hot in the sense popular. I don't mean hot as in hot to taste. And they being so popular, we can see one particular such a small stall may not get you a lot of money, but then if you have 10 of them or 20 of them or 100 of them across the country, even if you're looking at a relatively small sum of money from each of them, say you have maybe 50 of them, and each one is able to get you at least 10,000 baht a month, as that you've invested in them. And the way you can do it is that, okay, I invest in you and you give me this much of money every month, as a sort of return on my investment. So imagine just this 10 of them, 10,000 into 10 is 100,000, and you can imagine, so 50 into them, that's 500,000. So that's a very good sum of income. But obviously, that will require investment and all that. We can look at that prospect. One can always come out with certain proposals that, okay, this is what I have in mind. You invest this much of money, and this is what you can get. Yes, keep in mind the fact that I'm very alert on these fronts. I'm a guy who's reasonably aware of all the legal aspects, all the financial aspects. So if you think that you can actually pull a fast one on me, you cannot. And the consequences for you, even if you try to do it, would be tremendously bad. So don't even think about it. Remain straight with me. I will definitely remain straight with you. I'm a guy who believes in honesty, integrity, being straightforward, because I really feel that in life it does not pay if you try to pull a fast one on others, if you try to cheat others, if you try to scam others. You can probably, in the short term you can do it, but then in the long term the consequences are almost always poor. So that being the case, you have to work towards creating a legitimate source of good quality income. So therefore, in conclusion, all I would say is that if you have any such thoughts, ideas in your mind, you can feel free to get in touch with me. I have provided my email address once again, that's vikram@london.com. You can always get in touch with me on Skype, once again, malik.vikram. You can read it there. So feel free to get in touch with me. My contact options are there in the description as well. You can read through that description, and I look forward to the opportunity of settling down in Thailand in more ways than one. I mean, on the personal front also, I would love to, explore that possibility. At the same time, when the professional, the business, the income part, is in place, settling down at a personal level becomes that much easier. And the corollary is also true, that if you don't have, that the financial part, the income part, the business part, the earnings part in place, settling down personally in a comfortable manner remains a big challenge. That's not something which I want. So therefore, in conclusion, if you have any sort of a good job opportunity or a good business opportunity, I'm open to that. Please feel free to get in touch with me. Cheers.